I first heard of Andrea Cormier days into living in Halifax when I was working at a candle shop selling candles because her song was playing on the radio, and I asked who it was, and I was told that it was a musician who had worked there before me and that I would probably meet her at some point. And I did wonder, is this the kind of city where everyone knows everyone? And then I didn't meet Andrea for like 4 years.
Well, I just bought a really nice candle and I broke it by accident. I had it in the bathroom and it was just like on the ledge where
I sat down with Andrea. We talked about music, we talked about Halifax, we talked about candles, and we talked about the song that you just heard in the intro, Auspice. Auspice.
Yeah.
How did it start?
It kind of came to me in pieces. I think I was listening to a lot of artists like do you know Vashti Bunyan? She's like this like cool kind of like psych folk artist from the 60s that like was sort of underground, but then she had a bit of a resurgence like in the early, I think in the 90s or the early 2000s. And I was listening to her music a lot, and then I just felt really inspired by like her kind of like quiet vulnerability and like the imagery in her songs and how they felt a bit kind of circular. So I was like exploring structures and patterns that like were maybe a little bit more repetitive in
Cool.
that sense.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about the start of Halifax. How did you get introduced? How did you find your way?
It took a little while because I moved here in 2018, and I had a band when I was living in Montreal, so like the hardest part was like finding my footing as like a solo artist again, and just like getting in touch with a different style of songwriting, I guess. Because I used to play in like a psych rock band, so it's like really different.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the project?
I was called Beach Glass.
Okay.
And it was like
cool.
Very fitting of the time, like just like kind of like garage psych, like a little bit of shoegaze. We self-released a couple of EPs. That was kind of like my introduction to like releasing music, but also like putting on my own shows and stuff like that. I started playing when I was like 6-ish. I grew up in a musical family. My dad's a musician, and he got me a fiddle, like a violin, for Christmas, and was just like, you should play the fiddle.
Yeah.
So I grew up playing the fiddle, kind of like Acadian stuff or like Irish music. My dad would accompany on the guitar, and my sister would play on the piano. Part of finding my identity as a solo artist again, as I was saying earlier, like I basically looked through my archives and was like, okay, which songs have I always felt sort of close to, but I've never done anything with them? To share that part of me that I felt I was maybe hiding before behind like rock music, if that makes sense.
That's really cool, because I didn't know that you
play rock music.
Yeah.
That's fair. Like
cool.
People are always kind of surprised for some reason when I tell them that, but I think I was maybe hiding from the more vulnerable or sensitive parts of my songwriting and my style. Yeah, I think a lot of my influences are from like maybe darker sounding things like grunge or even some prog influences. So definitely the 60s and 70s in general is like a big influence for me. So like the Beatles, Joni Mitchell, obviously, and then bands like the Straubs and stuff like that. But then I also really like 80s music, like New Order, and I really like The Cure a lot, and that kind of sound, and Talk Talk is one of my favorite bands of all time. Yeah, honestly, it's very wide ranging. Like I really like 90s music, I like grunge a lot, I like Mazzy Star a lot.
Raised along the coasts of small-town New Brunswick, Andrea Cormier is a singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist based in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Weaving together classic folk and dream pop, Andrea's new self-titled EP delivers the silvery vocals and 12-string melodies heard on her debut album, Creatures of Illusion, but amplified with a full band. Andrea's latest release moves between sound, language, and memory, marking an arrival to new sonic shore. Auspice.
Yeah.
How do you pair concept with song?
I think for me, when I listen to a song, I listen to like the instrumentation a lot and the melody a lot before I even feel like try to like find words for it. Like it's more about the feeling and the sounds. To be honest, I often don't even listen to lyrics in songs. Like I can't sing along to a lot of songs because I don't retain the lyrics.
At what point do you say this song feels this way and this idea matches it?
Yeah, I think it's at the end for me. I don't really know what I'm trying to say yet until like the song is complete.
Cool.
And even more so when it's recorded and the arrangements are done. Like I don't go in thinking that a song needs to have a certain concept.
Cool.
I do stream of consciousness a lot with like melody, structure, but also lyrics.
Okay.
And the lyrics come out like just phonetically at first, like just sounds.
Sure. Yeah.
And then eventually they kind of just turn into words.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I guess, you know, this is what I'm trying to say. And I focus a lot on the flow of how the words are delivered.
Cool.
I don't know if that really makes sense, but
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
it's more about the flow of how the words sound than the meaning of the words. And I find the meaning of the words come later. The song was actually written during the pandemic. And I think I was out of work at that time. It felt like like a lot of people, like everybody felt like their whole life was on hold during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And there was this like idea of like not knowing if you would be able to like start up again or take things from where you left them So like for me, it felt like my music ambitions were on hold. I was like, oh, like I can't play shows. I can't perform. I can't like meet other people or musicians.
Yeah.
So I was like really exploring that idea of like, what is life or what is the world without your dreams and ambitions? Like where do you find meaning?
Let's talk about performance a bit.
Yes. I have a very complicated relationship with performing. I think I'm liking it more and more. I'm starting to learn how much work goes into performing and how it's an art in itself and a lot goes into it. And I think I wasn't putting enough time in crafting that before. So it's been a long process for me to sort of get over stage fright. I've been on the stage since I was like 8 years old, but I've always kind of struggled to like embrace taking up that space. Yeah.
It's also very intimate music.
It is very intimate music. It's harder. I find for sure it's harder when you're just playing by yourself. And
yeah, definitely.
I'm getting glimmers of like enjoyment when I'm on stage, but it used to be a very difficult thing for me. I try to take it easy. I try to space it out just because it is such a big taxing thing for me.
Yeah.
A lot of preparation goes into it. Like I need to take like not just practicing, but I, like even the day before I have like a routine that I follow, like the day before and the day of. I take off work and everything. I'm like, I need to do these steps to be able to perform. A lot of it is just like grounding techniques and like meditation and yoga and just like eating well, sleeping like the night before.
Oh yeah, I don't eat before.
It's hard. You're not hungry.
Yeah. Curveball.
Yeah.
Top 3 cafes in Halifax.
Top 3 cafes? Okay, so the Osney's number 1 for me.
Wow.
Yeah, and we were just there.
We were just there.
They make the best breakfast sandwiches.
I was thinking about a mocha for like 2 days and I didn't get one there.
Well, if we're talking about mochas though, I will tell you where my favorite mocha is. I really like the mochas at Ramblers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think they use real chocolate or something. I'm not sure, but whatever they do, it's perfect. So that would be number 2. Actually, to be honest, it's kind of a toss-up between those 2 for me. Cool. And then the third one, I think...
Damn, sorry.
I used to go to Cafe Laura a lot, but
I love Cafe Laura.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But I mostly go there to work, like if I have like a work session.
Yeah.
So those are my top 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
With nature, because I think that's a big part.
Totally. I think I've just always felt connected to nature. Like I think I was telling you, I kind of grew up like very close to nature. I would spend a lot of time observing and thinking and processing. I find I'm endlessly inspired by like the beauty of it and just like the perfection of it, like the perfection in the imperfections. I don't know what it is, but as soon as I get there, like close to the water or in the woods, I just feel immediately grounded and there's like space in my brain and like sentences or melodies will just come to me. Right. Like just literally come to me. I think because I just don't have as much going on in my head and I can just like catch them and grasp them. Okay, anytime? Yep. Okay, we'll grab one. Okay. 3 close rows from the ground, like arrows pointing to the sky. Their cries pierce holes in all things.
Depending on where you're watching this, click wherever to go follow Andrea, to go listen to Auspice. And a special thanks to Andrea for the interview and for being the first Middlecase segment.
I saw the first signs of spring. rain felt like bees on a string. If I knew how long. So like every once in a while I feel like this overwhelming need to just like go there and sit and just like spend time with the ocean and like to smell the salt air and like to see the seagulls and stuff like is really important. I don't know, it just feels like home, I guess. Yeah.